Hi guys, my name is Mitch Ellis. I'm the lead developer for the 3D Hive Builder, and today we're going to be learning how to create an inventory item. So an inventory item is an item that, when placed in the world, can be picked up by the user and carried and used for other things. So it doesn't disappear, it basically allows the user to run and collect it and put it in their backpack or store it for later use. So let's roll over the Add Plus button, and we're going to create a blank item by clicking on the item button. Then we're going to go ahead and click the blank item we just created, which will bring us to the settings page of the item, and we can select the item type. So I'm going to give my item name a simple name like my inventory item, and I'm going to choose the item type as inventory because that's what we're going through today. Now you notice the inventory item has a few differences compared to consumable items. The inventory item allows us to add a description. It also allows us to select a drop action, and we'll go into more detail a little bit later on. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is choose our item library, choose our model, our 3D model for the inventory item. So you do that by clicking on the button there, the Open Item Library button. And I'm going to go down and select maybe let's have a look, maybe like a can of drink, an energy drink. So I'm going to select the energy drink, and there I've selected my 3D object. Okay, so the next important thing is to kind of create a description. Now, you don't have to create a description, but sometimes it can help. So let's create a description like store these cans, or even better, something like old cans from the past. Old can from the past. Okay, so I've given it a description called old can from the past. Just kind of tells the user what the item is, or the history behind the item. Okay, so that's just the description. That's quite straightforward. The next thing we need to talk about is the drop action. Now the drop action's kind of important. Let's go through some of these. So if you click on the drop down list, you'll see that we've got 3 different drop actions. The first drop action we've got is called the permanent drop action. Now the permanent drop action basically means that once the user has picked up this item, they can't get rid of it. And that's kind of useful for things like plagues or special items that you want the user to collect, or reward items that you don't ever want the user to drop. So if you select permanent, it basically means that once the user has picked up the inventory item, they can't drop it or they can't get rid of it. The next drop action is called a place drop action. Now this is the default selection, and this basically means that the user can pick up an inventory item and then drop the inventory item at a later stage. They don't need to hold on to it. And the last one is called the destroy drop action. Now the destroy drop action, it means that when the player picks up an inventory item and they drop it, it disappears from the world. So it can no longer be picked up again by someone else or the same person. So it basically destroys it from the world as soon as they drop it. So I'm just going to go ahead and click place as the default selection. And you notice some similar things here to the consumable item. We've got speed impact, attack impact, jump impact, food impact. So we can actually change some of the stats of the player character when they pick up this item. This might be handy for things like if you've got heavy items that affect the player's speed, if you want the items to give players special abilities like better attacks, then maybe you can change these settings here, but you don't have to. You can leave them at default. So maybe I'll make my special, maybe it's a special can, a magic can, and I'll make the attack impact greater than their original attack impact. So there you go. So you can change the settings, you can change the drop action, and you can give your item a description. And we've just created our inventory item. So click the Save Changes button, and there you have it, a new inventory item. Cheers, guys.